Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. Number one sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies and the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game, party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Payton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is say Super Bowl.
Yeah. You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Who that, fam? What's going on, fam? How y'all doing, man? What's good with the family in the building? Another rendition of the Sports Coma coming at you live in effect. Good to see all the beautiful black and gold family members in the building once again, fam. We up in this thing, man. We're gonna do it. We doing it big for the team. We up in this thing, fam. Good to see all the beautiful black and gold participants. Family, the Great Saints Think Tank is in the building, baby. Good to see you all in the live stream. Big ups to the families. Gold, black, and gold. Who that to you? Iceman, who that to you? Kevin, who that to you? Derek L, who that to you? Tramal, who that to you? Dominic, who that to you? All the family members. Sub-Zero in the building. Good to see the beautiful black and gold family members chiming in. Special surprise stream coming out to family members. Steve, what up, Steve? Steve Wynn in the building. Good to see you, fam. Travis 504, who that to you as well. Good to see all the beautiful black gold family members in the building. Chiming at the Sports Coma on a surprise stream Friday. Of course, there is some news percolating about the draft, but the NFL is going to proceed with the draft as the commissioner tweeted out. And of course, I'm going to share my screen with some of the family members who are not aware of these developments. But as you can tell, you can look at some of these things and see, and this is from Adam Schefter, that the commissioner sent out a memo at 2 NFL teams that the draft will go on as planned for April 23rd to 25th. It's just the issue is it will be a draft where nobody will be there. So this is going to be kind of a unique situation in which the draft is going to continue, but a peopleless draft, as much in limited contact as possible. And they're still working out the particulars of getting this done. But this is most certainly a new caveat in the world that we are now living in, a new world that has unveiled itself upon us. This is the new reality, as they say, the new reality of what life could be in this new crazy world in which we are actors in it. But we are actors who are the directors. And what are they directing us to? That's the subject matter of another show. Almost like I'm about to take you somewhere else, but hey, we're going to come right back to it. But good to see all the family members in the building. Big ups to the family members. All of them. James Taylor, who that to you? Jasper Bowden, I see your family. Good to see you as well. And Lance Kelly, I see you, Lance. Who that to you, Lance? That's one of the things, man, that as this new world, we're bravely going into it. We're bravely going into it, this new world. It's another interesting book, by the way. Very interesting book, A Brave New World. But anyway, this is what we're going to talk about on Sports Coma today. I'm dropping the draft. We're not going to get too specific on news items. This is my attempt. We're going at the 3.0 version of the Saints mock. This is 3.0, the third version of the previous mocks that we do. This time around, instead of taping it, then releasing it in the form of premiere, I decided to change things up a bit, being that all we hear is all this talk about all this stuff going on, and I'm just sick of it. I'm just sick of it. I'm just sick of it. And it almost gets to the point where the regurgitation, I can't take it anymore. To the point where it's about the hand wash. You're supposed to be washing your goddamn hands anyway. You got somebody to tell you that? That's something, come on, it's common sense stuff. And come on, who got to tell you to do that? That's something you sort of always been doing, with this or not that. Pardon me on that, family. Big ups to Michael Sachs Jr. and all the family members in the building, Jerome, and all the family chiming in. But this version of the show, we're going to come at you with just the live version of the mock, and this will be 3.0. Now, it's kind of an update. Who that to you, Henry Sanchez? Big ups to your family. But this is kind of a different spin on the Saints mock that we usually do, the 3.0. Like I said, I wanted to do it live. And, of course, I'm going to do it, and then after it's done, then you guys can chime in and then submit your own. Jamal says some nasty people. Man, I tell you what, they do got some nasty people out here in this world, man. I mean, good grief. You ever heard that old saying, cleanliness is next to godliness? Oh, my goodness, these people, I don't know what's wrong with them. Who that to you, Jason King? Who that to you? Indeed. Boy, common sense ain't so common, I tell you what, people. But, if anything, I can embark upon the family members, maybe an hour or so of distraction from all of this stuff. Oh my goodness. And then how is it getting to my children? I got to explain to them, all this kind of old stuff. And my goodness. It's just tired of it, man. Tired of it. Sick. Sick of this crap. But anyway, big ups to the family members in the building. Kevin says, why is the media pushing Jameis Winston's on the Saints? They got something to talk about. They don't have a damn thing else to talk about. And my goodness, have you seen some of these commentators, since they can't get to work and get that high definition makeup? Oh my goodness. Boy, Skip Bayless, boy, he looked like Skeletor, man. Look. Skip Bayless, get some sun, why don't you? Oh my goodness. What's the guy with the big eyes? Ryan Clark. Oh my goodness, Ryan Clark, man, what's going on, fam? What's going on? You got to trust somebody, bro, to get up there upside your head with some clippers or something, bro. Oh man, take a shot in the dark, why don't you? Oh man. But anyway, family, we're gonna do the mock today, and I just like to tell y'all out that to the Great Saints Think Tank, man, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Stand strong in all of the stuff that we going through. And just stay strong, man. Be a critical thinkers and open that heart and that mind up to everything. Don't be closed-minded in this time. Do your research on some stuff and stay to the fact. Not the pandemonium and the nonsense, but just kick to the fact. Jason says, Q, should we go after Rosen in Miami? I think we should, says Jason. Who knows? Well, Rosen is another dude. They're not talking about that guy very much. You know what I'm saying? They're not really talking too much about Rosen. And I think why so many teams are not sold on Rosen is because of things that that's pretty much being what he said previously. Now he comes from a well-to-do family, and the indication is he doesn't have football as a long-term thing, and that scared some teams away from him. So that's something that you have to bear in mind as well. A short-term option, maybe a higher upside with guys like Taysom Hill. Perhaps guys like even Barrett, JT Barrett deserves an opportunity. He's been on the Saints squad for a while. He knows some stuff. But Josh Rosen, I don't know. I don't know about Rosen. Maybe a short-term option wouldn't hurt. The guy can throw the ball. He can wing it. He's not bad. He's not bad in terms of his accuracy. It's just, I just think that at this juncture of time, he was kind of have that mentality, and maybe he's brung down a peg or two. But a lot of people, you're not going to find too many people beating the block to bring Josh Rosen aboard the Saints nation. I think the Saints probably looking at a more veteran quarterback, perhaps, to bring in here, so Taysom can run those packages. So who knows, bro? Rosen, in my opinion, is not a bad quarterback. I just don't think you'll see too many takers of an unproven commodity like Rosen, especially in the situation the Saints have when they need a veteran back there as opposed to a guy that really don't know what he's doing. Thank you, Jason, for that question. Tramal said Jameis Winston wants to start. Cam, too. I think both of those guys are bad choices. Jameis Winston, I just think that his career as a starter is over. He's going to be perpetually more now a backup now. He had plenty of time, more time than most people, to prove whether or not he can compete in this league. And I think the boat has sailed on Jameis Winston. Now, Cam is going to be 31 real soon. He's an interesting thing, but his foot is an issue, and his shoulder's more of his foot than his shoulder. But outside of his foot and his shoulder, his head is a problem too. People were saying that Cam was preoccupied with all these funny hats and these Medea scarves that he was wearing and design of the clothes. And they were saying this guy wants to be a clothes designer more so than play football. And they question his heart. And he's a terrific talent when his head's screwed on straight. But do you really want to take on a reclamation process like Cam Newton? Now, he's the best of the bunch out there. But the issue is, once again, his where his head at, and if he's able to get past these injuries. So that's what my question. The Iceman said, if it's possible, I would like to see if Andrew Luck come out of retirement. I know it's a long shot. I don't think that's going to happen. Andrew Luck, it was some rumors that he was going to take some time off, rehab, then come back. But the Colts still own his rights. So it's not like he retires and comes back and, what have you. I mean, it's something in that. Or perhaps, let me do a little bit more research on that whole situation. But Luck, we don't know. But there was rumors that he was looking down the line, taking a year or two off the rehab and then come back totally healthy. That might be something that he might look at as well. So we'll see. It's a lot of crazy stuff in the world that can go, that you never know. It's very unpredictable. Gundam, who that to you? Gundam, I see your family. Good to see you in the chat. Big ups to you. Jason says Cam and Winston can play in the XFL. I hear you, fam. Sub-Zero and head skull. I mean, come on, man. There was a picture I did. Remember on that live stream, I put Cam Newton next to a picture of Whitney Houston. Remember that? Remember I showed you that picture? And it was almost the damn same scarf. You'll never catch. I mean, that's a fashion statement, but what kind of statement is you making? Huh? What you making over there, Cam? I just think he the wrong fit, both him and Jameis. Iceman Skew, it's not over for Jameis. He just needs guidance. Guidance for real, fam? Iceman, come on, man. Jameis Winston's been getting guidance. He's been with the Buccaneers for 5 seasons? They've given him several different coaches, 2 of which I could name to you and tell you that they were brought in exclusively as quarterback whisperers to develop Jameis Winston. The Buccaneers gave that guy every opportunity to take the reins of that team, and he repaid them in his 5th and final season by giving them 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. What does that tell you? The guy is a head case. Before he need to get all this up here straight, bro. The dude is not, he a head case. He got talent. Don't get me wrong. But if Bruce Arians can't do nothing with you, and then prior to that, you had the other guy that was there for a couple of years trying to help him develop. It's just, man, it's sometimes You got to look at it and say, is it the system? Is it the coach? Or is it the player? They changed systems several times to accommodate Jameis Winston and gave him every opportunity. And all Jameis Winston did was let them people down over and over again. That's why I said, how many times you going to give him? Now, somebody else going to give him an opportunity. He'll get an opportunity to start in the league, barring somebody gets injured, and he'll step in and play. But, man, let me tell you, nobody's looking to make Jameis Winston their starting quarterback because people have seen enough of him. He has enough of body of work. He's talented, but what good is that if you can't get it straight up here? You know, there's a lot of guys in the NFL, the NBA, and other places that are very talented, but they don't have it all up here. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You got to get this thing organized up here, man, before you can be effective in any situation. You talking about y'all messed up here, y'all turned around up here, and you trying to lead somebody somewhere? That ain't gonna make no sense. That's not gonna, you're not gonna end well right there. So that's why I'm saying, you know, just let him go ahead on about his business, man. We don't need Jameis Winston here. If Bruce Arians, who's a really good coach, especially with quarterbacks, couldn't do anything with Jameis Winston, what the hell else anybody else can do with it? Perhaps you say, well, Bill Belichick, but it's a discipline thing too. And Jameis Winston has to realize that, man. Big ups to the fam. Greg CTC says Antonio Brown was mad that the Bucks don't want him, so he showed 60,000. So he showed 60,000 and cards. Can I tell you, man? Sometimes all these dudes got is that, man. They sell their soul and get all the way up there, and all they have is the possessions. And it's a hollow, useless existence when that's all you have. You can account for when you look around is things. Things that you can't take with you into the afterlife. How effective was you into reaching into people's lives and helping them out, helping give them knowledge, helping them to become strong? That's how your legacy is built. Not of the gathering of things, man. And a lot of these dudes so materialistic that they can't possibly turn their minds to the spiritual. It's never about the material. It's never been. But that's how so many of them get capsulated or trapped in a system that shows you shiny shit all the time. This is what it's supposed to be. And you have this, that means you're something. Anytime I can get you to believe that a pair of shoes that Jordan or whomever gave to some country over there where they're not paying their people, and majority of the time either it's slave made or whatever, and then they pay less than $3 for a pair of shoes over there per shoe, and come over here and sell it for $200 or $300, and then the way they make it valuable is by putting it in on the feet of entertainers and athletes to make you think that they have values. The same thing they did with Dre's $300-400 headphones. He put it on the ears of the athletes, and then you gave it value. Because you thought that it was valuable because he had it, because LeBron had it, or this other clown had it. That's how they create these things, man, from those perceptions. They know how to bend your mind. And a lot of us have been caught encapsulated in that frame of thought. We have to understand that it's not about the material. It never has been. But it's always been a trap. Now, don't get me wrong. You can have the material, but don't let it have you. You get what I'm saying? And this guy, this Antonio Brown guy, man, this dude just all kind of ways need to get it together, man. And you just a circus onto the world, and it's a shame. Louis Lombard, who that to you, Louis? Louis Lombard from the Who Dat Nation chapter, the Cali chapter, out there holding it down for the Black and Gold Nations and the Great Saints think tank. Big up to you, Louis. Bentley, who that to you, Bentley? He said, Luck said if he would come back, it would be with Indy. Thank you for that, Bentley, who that to you? Gunham says, Big Q, are you tough on James? You are tough on Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston, because I've seen enough. We've seen Jameis Winston for years, twice a year as Saints people. And remember the ridiculous thing when he was suspended the game and he stuck his goddamn finger on the back of the helmet of Marshawn Lattimore. What was that about? You wasn't even in the game. And he didn't even have a helmet on and stuck his hand and his finger on the back of Marshawn Lattimore's helmet and pushed it. Remember that? And then Evans came behind and blindsided him. Man, it's just the examples you set. And he's supposed to be the quarterback. That's why I'm saying I'm gonna be hard on Jameis Winston until he showed me something else. But Jameis Winston got to get it together, and he ain't fooling nobody but himself. Gerard Stevenson, who are that? Gerard, I see your family. Good to see your family. The Saints should draft a linebacker and bring in undrafted linebackers. No doubt about it. They had several undrafted guys over the last 2 years that the Saints should have made the Saints team. They really should. And hopefully some of those guys come back this year once the season gets underway. Iceman Sean Payton could turn him around. He did it with Teddy, and Jameis Winston's okay dude, but he used to be a buffoon. Teddy Bridgewater and Jameis Winston, that's two different people altogether. Teddy Bridgewater is an intelligent, easygoing, laid back dude who's not gonna cause no problems. He's not flashy. He's not gonna come in there and tear up your team and talk crap. He ain't gonna go behind another player and stick his finger on the back of his helmet and push him and cause a scrum on the sideline. He won't be caught doing stuff to Uber driver women. He won't be caught doing all this foolish stupidness that he's been doing, that Jameis Winston has been doing since he made it into the NFL. And I'm just talking about just the NFL stuff. Come on. I mean, Sean Payton is good, but he ain't the Pope. I mean, what you expect the man to do? I mean, Sean Payton is a football coach. Jameis Winston needs a head shrink. I mean, come on. What the hell are you expecting him to do? Let me lay hands on you, James. Oh, my goodness. No, man. No, Iceman. Iceman, you're on your own with that one, brother. Jason says we need O-line too. That's right. Derek, who that to you? Derek, good to see you. Said Jameis needs to guide the ball into teammates' hands. I mean, Jameis Winston needs a lot of stuff, bro. Torrey Shepard, who that to you? Iceman says, "Sigh, attention, family support." Go ahead, shit. Hey man, it's entertainment, bro. We can sit here and have a discussion, bro. But we all know at the onset or upon the genesis of the initial moment is the thought process, the mental. If the mental is disturbed, the whole process is then disturbed. If it comes out in a wrongful fashion, the whole motion will be wrongful. You see what I'm saying? It all starts here. And if you don't have it together here, I mean, mental health, I think Jameis Winston's mental health to me is questionable. He needs some guidance there, is what I'm saying. Maybe you need to go talk to somebody. There's a lot of help out there. But the mental health of Jameis Winston was questionable to me. That's why I would refrain from taking an attempt on bringing him into the team, because I do not want that dysfunction in my locker room. If anything, I'm trying to preserve the mindset, the overall genuine health of the team's mindset over anything. And sometimes stuff like that could be detrimental or even dysfunctional or a detriment to that mindset. So I wish Jameis Winston very well, but I think overall you got to get that mental health taken a look at, bro, for real. Seriously. Elite Goods, who that to you? Good to see you. Michael Sachs, but he's eating W's. I ain't even mentioned that, Michael. Thank you. He's eating doubles. Did you see that? Man, that's not somebody that got it all together up here, man. I'm just going to keep it real. You'll never see me doing crazy shit like that. Gerard says, don't forget about Colton Jumper. That's right. Chase Hansen, Andrew Dowell, which is some of the practice squad players that we have. Thank you, Gerard. And Iceman said we got to pray for him, fam. Jason says, I want Queen. Derek, I want Queen. Pat Queen. Okay, I got you. Kevin says, you're right, Q. I don't want James down here. Nah, we don't need that guy. I'm sorry, man. We can look other places before we look at Jameis Winston or Cam Newton. Can we please look in other places before we look at any one of those guys? Because, Cam is a talent. He's 31. But Cam, man, I question if he wants to be a football player right now. He might as well just take his money and go to the entertainment league. I said on the previous show, Carolina should have traded him to the entertainment league, and maybe they'd have got something for his ass. A couple of tickets before the shutdown or after the shutdown. Let's see. Gerard says, I would like Kenneth Murray, but he may be gone. Also, Saints should draft a backup old tackle or guard, 4th or 5th round. That's a must. Yes, sir. That no doubt about it. Making great points there, Gerard. Gundam says, how we looking for the draft? Big Q. The draft looking pretty good. They still going to carry on with the draft. As the news indicator, I showed some information earlier in the live stream about the draft still carrying on. They're still going to hold it, even if they have to do a full online thing. That's something that the NFL could possibly could pull off. It has the resources, the money to make such an endeavor true. And I'm pretty sure that they can arrange where they can be able to work out or speak to these different scouts upon after, this time frame has happened. Of course, they're looking at the next couple of weeks as an indication of what's going on in the country, but they're thinking that it could be something totally online, which would be a lot safer than piling a bunch of people in the building against the behest of what the government is telling you to do. Stay out of large gatherings. Let's hope that also means press briefings where you have 30-something people standing up there in the press briefing and you telling the people we shouldn't gather in more rooms than 10 or 12 people. And then you look around, it's like 50 people in the press briefing. Do anybody understand what I'm talking about here? Do anybody even get what I'm talking about? How often do you watch? How many of these press conferences have you seen? And they got more than 15 people there. What? Oh, we have critical thinking going on. Come on, man. But I ain't gonna get into it, man. Iceman says, who that to you, Sean C? Who that to you? He said, I don't want either of those guys. They have their head somewhere else. They don't want to play football. Yes, right. I agree with you. Iceman said, if the Saints fall short this season, would be out of bounds to reevaluate the QB position. If the Saints fall short this season, would it be out of bounds? No, it wouldn't be, because you have to start at the QB position to understand. Now, if the Saints stay on par with what they've been doing, you got a great point there that we should be able to address it. Now, Gundam says the kid from Georgia is pretty accurate. Speaking about Jake Fromm. Okay, I got you. Josh H says, who dates nation raping? Josh H, I don't know what you talking about, partner. We talking football here, fam. We are talking football here, so I don't know what the hell you talking about. Gerard says, I also would like to sign Sean Oakman. Very talented, should have been drafted. He had not been, if not, had been falsely accused. Kyle, who that to you, Kyle? Kyle Walter says, I think the Saints shock the world and take Jordan Love. Wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be a surprise to me if the Saints take, I've said this before, offensive lineman, either a guard or a tackle at that 24. If they don't trade back, a quarterback, a wide receiver, or a defensive back, even a linebacker. You have several different places they can go now. They set themselves up in free agency on that. Thank my moderators. And I often said my heavy-handed moderators are in the building. They're not going to let you play. So if you come in, we talking Saints. We're not talking about all this other stuff out here, date raping, and I don't even know what that fool talking about. Thank you, my moderators, for taking care of that. Kevin says, hey, Q, the Saints fooling around, bringing in the pass rush. Very lackluster there in free agency, and now you're hoping a rookie can come in and dominate the first year. I don't know, a rookie to come in and dominate the first year. My thing is, and I like if the trend continues, I still say that the Saints should go after Everson Griffin. If they can't get Everson Griffin, I've given you a cheaper option, Marcus Golden, both of which are still on the market. I made no mention, or maybe you're talking about somebody in the chat, but I didn't ask to bring in some few. We got enough potential guys. We got Granderson and Hendrickson in the sons of somebody. You got Hendrickson, and then you got Fred, and then you got Granderson. So we got enough sons here. And then you add Noah Spence in the mix. We got enough potential guys that can do something if they don't keep getting hurt. You need somebody who has shown that he has a history of getting to the quarterback, and that's something that we need to focus on. Now, I've given two examples. I've stuck to it. I said Everson Griffin, and I've also said Marcus Golden, the two guys that can make plays. And Golden is a guy who's a defensive end who could play linebacker or vice versa. He's one of those very talented guys. He had 10 sacks for the Giants last year, and he's still on the market. So we'll see how it goes. Chris Moorhead, who that T says, I don't believe Payton comment on Taysom being another QB2. Welcome to the Great Saints. Dang, Chris. because I'm with you on it, fam. We always knew he can't be a number 2 because it's just great. That's why I love the Great Saints think tank. Who that to your school? KT the Southern Gent 22. Who that to you, fam? I see you. Good to have you in the stream, fam. DLP, what up, DLP? Who that to you as well, fam? Now, that's Chris brings up an interesting point because that's the sentiment of the Great Saints think tank as well as myself. That says that Sean Payton says a lot of stuff that's bull crap. He's a pure politician through and through. Who that to you, Kelvin? I see you, fam. He says Fram is trash. The hell y'all talking about? Fram. But this is the thing, though. My perception on it is about the number 2 quarterback is he can't be the number 2 quarterback for the Saints. He's too busy. He's going to be too busy running around catching passes and playing in special teams and being a running back in the 3rd tight end. When is he going to have time to be a 2nd string quarterback? If you put him at the 2nd string quarterback, he will not be used in the Taysom Hill packages. That's the common thing. Isn't that the case? Remember when it happened when Drew got hurt, Teddy comes in. What happened to Taysom Hill? Did Taysom keep doing all of his stuff that he was doing? No. They kept him out of the special teams door. His packages were severely minimized. Why? Because if something would have happened to Teddy Bridgewater, Taysom would have to take his place. So you can't use him the way you want to use him if he's a true number 2. So it just goes to show you that we keep catching Sean Payton in these lies. And people don't want to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about the real, man. I don't care if you like it or not. If he caught lying, I'm going to catch you out there on your goddamn lies. Stop saying stuff that's not true. That way we don't have to keep busting your ass. Every time you keep saying something. He can't be a true number 2 because you're going to have him running back, quarterback, tight end, all this kind of old stuff. You know you're going to do that. You don't want to have him at a number 2 because you can't get the same value out of him. We know that. We know what you want him here for. You don't want him to be a quarterback. We know you got a gadget man and you want to use him. That's what we know. We know. Come on. Thank you for that, fam. KT the Southern just says, sup Q, what are your thoughts on the Saints drafting Lynn Bowden Jr. as a new gadget guy? That guy, I had him in my previous mock drafts when we took him out of Lynn Bowden. Now, Lynn Bowden Jr. is the wide receiver, kicker, all kind of stuff the guy can do. Very talented player out of Kentucky. The guy lit it up for him. I had that guy on the mock draft for the Saints to take because this was the type of player that brings a lot of value to your team overall. He helps in the special teams room and kick return, punt return. He's a very explosive wide receiver. He can be a good deep man for you. He can play in the slot for you. The guy can do a little running back duty for you. He's very versatile and can do a severe number of things for the team. So it's interesting that you make mention of him, fam, because I did draft that guy in my mock draft. I think it was the second of 2.0. I think it was either 2.0 or the first one. Gundam says Trey Hendrickson, defensive end Saints always playing hard with the position in jeopardy. Might misspelled name. Oops. I get what you're saying though, Gundam. We feel you. Thank you for that comment though. And all the beautiful Black and Gold family members chiming in as well. KT says, remember Tommy Lee Lewis was supposed to be Dave Meggett. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I know. All that kind of stuff be blunt. I mean, come on with the nonsense. Just say the man is a good player. You don't have to, because it just call the people with their, Taysom is not Steve Young. We been knew that. If you really felt that way, you would have started him over Teddy Bridgewater when Drew Brees got hurt, if you really believe that. So come on, man. Forget your words. I'm looking at your actions. DLP says, Q, if defensive end AJ Espinoza fell to us, it would be great if we land him. Another pick would be great as well. If you were Loomis and had your pick of Love, Herbert, Espinoza, Murray, who would you draft? Okay, now Jordan Love is high on their board. So you saying if I was Loomis, I'd be totally different in terms of who I would pick. But Espinoza is a fantastic defensive end. That's the guy reaping hell on everybody out of Iowa. That'll be a tough call. I know Herbert, I eliminated Herbert. I'm not really high on Herbert. I'm going to be honest with you. Jordan Love is good in my book, although I'm a Jalen Hurts guy because I seen his body at work being an LSU guy. Ken Murray is another dude that's absolutely fantastic for Oklahoma. A guy that can cover the length, sideline to sideline, ferocious tackle, just a pure athlete. So that's a real tough call right there, DLP. So if I had to make the call there, based upon all the things the Saints have been doing, I would definitely. That's tough, man. That's a tough one. Damn, it'll be either between Love, Espinoza, or Murray. But see, when you got Espinoza, could easily be your second, this guy could easily be your second best pass rusher in the draft. Some people say he's more complete of a pass rusher player than Chase is, Chase Young. But if he falls all the way down to 24, man, damn, I want that pass rush, man. And I probably would take, okay, I'll tell you what I would do. Okay, Love is there, and you know you need a backup quarterback, but you're not going to. I will go with Espinoza. And I'm going to tell you why, because sacks. We still in a pretty good position linebacker-wise. Later on in the draft, I would take Hurts or Murray, but I will go with A.J. Espinoza, man, straight up. I'm going to go ahead. Now, if we didn't sign Everson Griffin and we didn't address it, and I'm sitting up there with the 24th pick, and Espinoza's there, I'm taking Espinoza, man. Espinoza is one of them type of dudes that comes in. He can come in and be the situational guy, and he is a force there. And you really need somebody to really take that, to really bring that pressure. So that's one of the things that we got to focus on. So I would take A.J. Espinoza over Jordan Love and over Murray. And why? Because of sacks, not tackles. And the quarterback that won't play this year is Love. Of course, Love will sit there. But I would take sacks right now because that's a spot right now for Espinoza to play. I like Murray and I like the other guy. But, man, Espinoza, if he's sitting there at 24 DLP, I'm taking him, baby. I'm taking him. Espinoza is my pick. Thank you. I had to think about it for a little bit. Iceman said, that's sad, man. How can Taysom play for Sean when he lines straight to the man's face? They know it's politics to a degree. You know what I'm saying, family? That's like if you go work for a boss and the boss, filling your head up, telling you was the best worker and that you outperforming, and then he walks away. And then you about to walk out the room and he tells it and he waits, think you gone, and tells it to the next worker up in there. How would you feel? You gotta see, it's a little politics and a little stuff going on. And Sean Payton works it better than most. I just one of the dudes that catch him all the time. Okay, Farouk, I hope I'm saying your name right there, fam. Farouk Obasi, I hope I said that right, Farouk. Payton was trying to upsell Taysom to any sucker pie. Yeah, he put a first round tender on him. The market's there. They still have, they got some quarterbacks available, but the prices are high on these guys. Like Andy Dalton. The Bengals want something from Andy Dalton. He has a contract issue. Cam has an injury with his foot they're concerned about. Where is his head? Jameis Winston is his head. Then you have other quarterbacks out there not that much accomplished. A guy like Joe Flacco, who some people say just should retire. And it's just the market on the quarterbacks right now are just not there, So that's one of the things. Let's see what else. Sub-Zero says, I like to get Everson Griffin or Clowney on 1-year deals. I'm afraid Clowney's going to have to take a 1-year deal, revisit the free agency next time around. This free agency was kind of contaminated, no pun intended, or was kind of fooled with everything that was going on in the world right now. It kind of left a cloud over top of free agency right now. So I think once revisited, the next time around should be better. So if I'm Clowney, or at least his agent, I'm saying that Jadeveon Clowney take a 1-year deal with somebody, maybe a contender, and then go hit the market again next year and have a better year, hit the market again next year, and we'll do this again. That's my thought process on it. All right, let's keep it moving here. Iceman said dude called Teddy Donovan McNabb. I don't see the correlation there. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate you. Kevin says, do you hear Michael Dittler's interview? I agree. If one of those linebackers are there in the first round, snatch him, Murray or Queen. I got you on. Yeah, I did. Thank you for that, Kevin. I did list a portion of it. And yeah, you're right. Deteriorate. Mike Deteriorate. I listened to his interview about it, and you're right. That's one of the needs of the team. There's a linebacker that could play right next to a guy like Demario Davis, who himself is sitting on a 1-year contract. So it'll be a tough. If Pat Queen and Murray are there, no doubt about it, you got to look at them. But if you have a guy, a pass rusher like AJ Espinoza that falls to you at 24, man, that's a no-brainer there. That's a no-brainer there in my opinion. That guy is, you put that guy at the situational pass rusher, filling in for Davenport when he's hurt or when he needs a break, or Cam, and man, keep it going. That's a different type of level of pass rusher than the guys we got off the bench, to be honest with you. And he'll put some pressure on Davenport's ass to get it together. I promise you that. It'll be a situation similar to what it was when we took Sheldon Rankins that year with the first-round draft pick. And then with the fourth-round pick of that same year, took David Onyemata, who got his money before Sheldon Rankins got his money. And Onyemata was on Sheldon Rankins' ass for all those years when he was developing into Super Sheldon with the shimmy. It was because of that pressure. Same thing I say with this pass rush situation. Espinoza, if you draft him, Espinoza putting pressure on the backside of Davenport. Plus, he provides a good weapon there. But no doubt about it, you're right. If Espinoza's not there in my book, and those guys are sitting up there, Queen or Murray, no doubt about it, they fit a definitely need. The Saints need to get more athletic at the linebacker position, and need sideline to sideline hitters like that. And Murray or Queen will be perfect there. So yeah, I agree with you, Kevin. Thanks for your donation, by the way, my family. Thank you. Let's see. KT that just says which QB do we have a realistic shot of drafting? Hurts, Love, Eason, Fromm, Shea Patterson, or Morgan. Hurts is depending on where you drafting them at, KT, because Jordan Love is more than likely is going to be off the books. His stock has grown past Herbert's stock, the Oregon guy. So I mean, it's interesting to see how fastly Jordan Love is getting up there. But realistically speaking, Eason, we might not get a shot at Eason. They're saying that Eason might not be there. Eason should be there. Let's get that wrong. Fromm is a guy that might be going. There's a lot of stuff saying Fromm could be going, but they're saying 5 quarterbacks before they get to the Saints. 5 quarterbacks before they get to the Saints. So we'll see how that shakes out. Shea Patterson definitely going to be there in the later rounds. Hurts, I'm thinking he might be gone by the second round. And we might end up with Anthony Morgan. You know, he's the guy nobody really talking about. But he might be the guy we end up with if we don't land a second round pick, or either at least try to get another pick to see if we can land a Hurts or something like that. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays. If we get a second round, I mean, me personally, I think Hurts will work in the Saints offense. But if you need more picks, you need more picks. So much talent in this draft. Kevin says, I don't draft for QB first round this year. KT says, 80s baby. Let's see what else we got. DLP says, nah, I disagree. He might fall because of this draft. That's it. This dude's complete player trust. Kevin says, I hear you, bro. That's good stuff right there. Derek says, facts. Wait till next year. Gundam says, Big Q, if Taysom blossoms into a tier 1 QB, will you show him a little love? I got love for Taysom. I just think that, and listen, I've advocated for him playing quarterback for some time, family. I just think that it's one of them situations where the coach is not going to allow him to play quarterback. Even though you're telling them that, I just don't think the coach is sincere about playing him. He calls him Steve Young, but then puts Teddy Bridgewater ahead of him. But who puts Bridgewater ahead of Steve Young, if you really believe that? I'm just saying I'm going based upon what I'm seeing. He's a terrific talent and athlete, and he's getting better in his progressions and all that. But it was Sean Payton, the one who's being a blockage to him playing the quarterback position, not me. And I do have love. I think he's terrific. But I just have, it's a lot of suspect things when it comes down to Taysom Hill as a quarterback. that we have yet, and the coach knows. That's why the coach is kind of handling the situation and kind of pumping his head up with smoke, if you know what I mean. But yeah, thanks. But no doubt about it, fam. I think he could be one. I mean, he's in the right system where he could definitely work. But no, I got love for Taysom Hill. I've been advocating and trying to tell him, listen, whatever you do, watch Sean Payton, because he has a propensity to lie. He lied to Teddy Bridgewater. Then when free agency started, he go back and try to talk to him and get him back. Say, okay, Tua is not realistic. We're going to keep both of them. Taysom Hill is the future. He's the future of the franchise. So why are you talking to Teddy Bridgewater before the Carolina Panthers signed him to that $60 million contract? If you believe this guy was. You see what I'm saying? Why all the double speak? Why all the double speak? See, I pay attention to the double speak because I know he don't mean what he says about Taysom being the franchise quarterback. I've been saying that. People say, oh, no, Q, that's not what it is. And what it turned out to be exactly what I said it was. Because I'm looking at the man and I knew he was full of bunk when he was talking about the guy. Not my words, his words and his actions. That's better yet. Thank you, fam, for the question, though. Okay, Kevin says, give me Patrick Queen. Gerard says, I would like the Saints to draft Memphis running back Antonio Gibson over Lynn Bowden. Gibson is a pretty decent guy, but Bowden's terrific too. So, I mean, if you can bring talent, speed, talent, and playmaking to the wide receiver room for the Saints, I'm happy. Wayne Brady, who that to you, Wayne? I see your family. What up, Neville? Good to see you, Neville, in the building. He said, what up, Big Q? What about Watson? I heard they don't want to he don't want to be in Houston. I'm not surprised. You ship off his best wide receiver weapon. You don't bring any real talent in to protect him from an offensive line standpoint, which is he's just getting his ass beat out there, taking all these sacks and all this kind of stuff. And you remove his best weapon and leave him with a bunch of unproven wide receivers. And the only one that you brought over was a 30-year-old Randall Cobb. I was anticipating them to do something big, like make a trade for perhaps Stephon Diggs. And then I'll be like, oh, okay, I see. But no, he takes away his best weapon. And then it's just that, you know what, just the guy, I'm not upset about that. I'm not upset about that. You're not doing anything to improve upon the team. And even if you say we got some draft picks, we're going to go into the draft. You really think rookies are going to appease him? You need bona fide. You don't get rid of a guy like Hopkins for a guy like Johnson when nobody even paying them guys. And what if that asshole get up in there, down there and get hurt once the season started? He had a propensity to get hurt. They got rid of him and they kept Kenyon Drake out there in Arizona. That tell you all you need to know. And I ain't saying Drake a bad running back, but good grief, man. See how I'm glad we don't have a stupid ass GM like that. Mickey Loomis said, look, I ain't gonna play like I know. I'm gonna leave it to Coach Payton and Jeff Ireland to make the decisions. Because if you don't know, leave it in the hands of people who do. Bottom line. So I wouldn't be upset if he did demand that. Derek says Queen would be a great choice. KT says Espinoza is a try-hard guy. Henderson 2.0. Q watch a lot of Big Ten college football players. He isn't a dog. He's a little engine that could. Listen, I hear what you're saying, KT. I watch footage on Espinoza, and he do come from a small conference in what you would consider, now I don't know if you say small school, Iowa. But what I seen on him, man, regardless of who he's playing, the guy had a motor. The guy was ferocious. The guy was just playing. He had an innate ability to put pressure on the guy and just keep on going. I don't know if Henderson had that kind of resume. He was pretty decent when he came out of Florida, Atlantic or whatever it was, FIU or whatever it was. But I think Espinoza is pretty good, man. I watched a lot of footage on him, man. But he's not but if he falls to 24, you better believe the Saints are looking. Thank you for the comment. DLP said he has size with technique, hands, and power, and is damn good. I keep saying, watch some more footage on him, KT. Watch some footage on him, my brother. Because at the end of the day, the guy can play the position, bro. Kevin said he won't fall that far. Elise says sitting there like a duck just for us. Derek says he sideline sound like Iceman said if my boss did that, I would be looking at him with Mike Tomlin eyes. Kyle Walter says Q, you had enough of Sean's lies. Man, Sean Payton, man, can fill it up no better than anybody. You don't have to keep talking. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to keep talking like that, coach. Just say what you guys say and leave it alone. You have to be telling that foolishness, man, because you know people going to say, huh? What? You know, Michael Sachs says, who will have a better career, take bites out of Tua or take the buys out of Tua or Burrows? Who will have a better career? That's tough, depending on where Tua goes. Burrow, we know he's going to Cincinnati already has A.J. Green. They got him locked up on that franchise. They do have Joe Mixon there. They do have Sutton there. They have a decent offensive line. The defense is okay. They added some more pieces to the defense. Von Bell is now there with several other new acquisitions. So the Bengals have done, in my opinion, pretty decently in free agency. In the draft, they'll cap it off. So they'll be a hell of a lot better team than what they were some time ago. So it's not like Burrow's going into a team where the cupboards are bare. He's going to have some fantastic wide receivers like A.J. Green and Sutton, and then the third receiver is Ross. So he has three really talented wide receivers, an excellent running back, and then a backup in Giovanni Bernard, who's really good as well. So Cincy, when they added some pieces on defense, they're not going to be the bungles too much longer. They just needed solid play at the quarterback position, and they haven't gotten that consistently from a guy like Dalton. And they still have the asset of having Andy Dalton on the team, in which they can trade him during the draft to acquire more picks, or perhaps a player that can impact and help the team overall. And where do Tua go? I mean, a Miami, a Detroit. I don't know exactly where he would go to even the base the careers. Because I am hearing rumors that Detroit is interested in him because they want to get from up under Matt Stafford's contract, which is ridiculous. And the fact that he's dealing with back issues, they might want to flip it. And then they have a really desperate coach and general manager who, if they don't get it right this year, they both could be out the door. You know, it depends on where Tua goes. So I don't know. Tyler Boyd, there you go. I said Sutton. Sutton's for Denver. Thank you there, Sub-Zero. Appreciate it, bro. Sometimes I get them mixed up. But yeah, you're right. Tyler Sutton. Thank you, fam. Sutton, Ross, and Green is pretty good with Mixon and Bernard back there. That's actually a pretty good mixture, to be honest with you. So I just don't know where Tua goes to say which is which. You see what I'm saying, family? Because if he goes to Miami, he got Parker down there, and maybe, they not as good people around him. I just don't know where he goes to kind of say which will be. You see what I'm saying? So I can't really answer that. But thanks for the question, though, Michael. Revolt says, who that to you, Revolt? Revolt says, who that family? What are the crawfish biting? The crawfish biting all. They got crawfish, man. They got people selling it right now. Crazy enough. But they are, there is out. Crawfish is out, baby. It's going down. That's one positive thing. A lot of this kind of shut that down. People going out and having the crawfish balls, but it can't hold us forever. DLP says we need comp out the defensive end position to get the most out of Davenport and others. Thank you, fam. I agree. Kelvin Griffin says Patterson worse than Fromm. I agree. Out of all those quarterbacks, Shea Patterson is the worst of them, of all of them, to be honest with you. I'm not impressed with Shea Patterson. Never was. Kevin says change the tender for Taysom Hill to a second-round pick. Elite says, I know this is off subject, but Call of Duty Mobile just updated. We need something to distract us, right, fam? Kevin says C.J. Henderson needs speed. Kelvin says nobody's stupid enough to give the Saints a first or second round for Taysom. Maybe we can get that dumbass coach from the Texans to give it to us. DLP says Q, if James Morgan from Florida Atlantic looks pretty good, he might be available in the 5th or 6th round. If you've seen him, check the tape on him. No, I didn't hear about him, but I sure will, bro. I will look him up. Kevin says Demarion Shannon is a lockdown corner. Shannon is I don't know who that Shannon. I'll have to look him up. I don't know if I heard of him. Kevin says Brandon Ayuk wouldn't be bad either. Let's see. A lot of y'all y'all in the chat today here. KT says, Q, what players do you see as potential value picks and draft steals? Man, it's so many of them, KT. I mean, it's so many. In the wide receiver room alone, it's several of them. Golden, Antonio Golden, Gandy from Liberty, a wide receiver, is very talented from a small town school, excellent, could be excellent acquisition. He has size, he can catch the ball. Really fantastic player. Who else is there out there? Man, there's so many of them out there. Of course, I like Hurts out there as a quarterback. Who else do I like, man? I don't even have my list in front of me, KT. But there are several really entertaining prospects, to say the least, man, that will really be an addition. Like if we talk about Lynn Bowden, another one. If you can get a guy like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, is another guy that I would be looking at to go late in the first round into the second round. Would love to have that guy. The running back from what's the little guy, man? It's several really great wide receiver prospects. The Baylor wide receiver, Ayuk, all these fantastic wide receivers. The running back, Perrine from Florida, is a really good player that I like as well. The tight end from Vanderbilt is a pretty good one, in my opinion. Who else is there? Man, there's so many of them. I like the cornerback from Florida. He's special. Who else, man? It's so many of them that's out there, bro. That this draft is so deep. I mean, you will want to have a lot of picks to fix it. Jason says Deontay Harris is already in the building. We won't be taking a wide receiver this year because we need defense. Harris going to ball out this year and be a household name by the end of it. Just watch. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate it. I think Deontay Harris, you keep him relegated to the special teams room. Don't get me wrong. Every now and again, I see him catching passes downfield. I wouldn't be mad at that. But you have a Pro Bowl kick returner for the first time since the Beer Man. I would let him focus on that. And I would try to address by getting more talented players like that so we don't have to use our third string quarterback as a wide receiver weapon. You see what I'm saying? We need more athleticism and we need more play making ability in the wide receiver room and other parts of the team as well, to be honest with you. Derek says, now that Sean Payton said Taysom is the backup QB, we definitely can't use him as a Swiss Army knife no more, so his value is now non-existent. Shaking my head. Thank you, Derek. Gerard says Chase Claypool. I like him. Gerard Claypool from Notre Dame is a good one. Denzel Mims, I think that's the Baylor dude, right? Either would be a good fit for the Saints. Both productive, not to mention the guy from Minnesota whose names escaped me. DLP put me on to him. DLP, what's his name? Johnson, I think his name is. DLP threw that guy at me. And I went and looked his footage up, and I was impressed by that Minnesota wide receiver. I think his name is Johnson. Chime in on that, DLP. Kyle Davis. What up, Kyle? Who that to your fam? Good to see you in the chat, fam. Jason says, and Q, like I've been saying all year, pay that man. Glad to see Pete got paid. There you go, Jason. There you go. Now you can tell them to their face, we finally got it. All the naysayers of Andrews Pete. He's now an offensive lineman signed for the next 5 years for your New Orleans Saints. How about that? Andrews Pete, the Saints bring him back. And I know we got a lot of people that love it and a lot of people that hate it. Lance says Derek L. He will be used as a Swiss Army knife. KT says Espinoza comes across what he says 4 to 7.5 sacks a year guy, more of a second-rate sidekick than the alpha dog. I like his effort, but in Penn State, Minnesota, and Wisconsin games, he vanished, and I give him he ain't completed pass because Wisconsin O-line is a problem. Thank you for that information, KT. We're gonna see. But remember, this guy is a guy that probably won't make it to the Saints. If he does fall to the Saints, more power to you. We're going to get somebody good that's going to fall to us there because they projecting 4 or 5 quarterbacks that are going to be taken, and pass rushers have a high premium. So if you can get guys that can impact, either get sacks or interceptions, man, they're going to be there. So, you might have a point on that, fam, but time will tell. Let's see. Derek says, if not, the backup QB fam. Sean says, I think Taysom should watch his designator as a wide receiver or tight end before it's too late. He can save his career. He's, getting close to 30. He wants to be a quarterback. He making that known. But it's nobody taking him out on the quarterback position. If he would say, it was like with Tim Tebow. If Tim Tebow would have became a tight end, he would have had a longer career in the NFL, because it was like, we'll sign you as a tight end. He wanted to be a quarterback. Will Taysom, he'll do the same thing. Will Taysom remain as that one type of position, that one play, that multiple position guy or not? This will be the biggest payday he got once he signs his tender. We'll see how it all plays out. But interesting to say the least. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate you, Michael. He said, thoughts on J.K. Dobbins from Ohio State, 3rd or 4th round? I don't know, bro. 2nd round to me is J.K. Dobbins. A lot of people saying Dobbins is the best back in the game. I think it's the guy from Wisconsin, to be honest with you. What's his name? His name escapes me right now. He put up 2,000 yards this year, and he was at some points of the season one of the Heisman top people. So, but J.K. Dobbins is definitely special. I would have to say something probably 2nd to 3rd round, somewhere in there, because he's a talent. He can run inside, outside, can catch the ball out the backfield. He can do everything a good running back, and he's a kind of one of those running backs that are plug and play right now. You get J.K. Dobbins and put him in your system, be like, bam, just like that. And I mean, he's special. So I would have to say, Michael, either a 2nd or 3rd round pick for J.K. Dobbins. If he falls to the 4th or later rounds, that's a absolute steal, because J.K. Dobbins is special. I know more than that. Thank you, fam, for your donation and your question. Gerard says, Zach Bond, I heard of him. I like him. Wisconsin wouldn't be a bad pickup at all. Lance says, man, Sean Payton already said it. KT says, I have Gross Matos is better than Espinoza. Yeah. Gross Matos from Penn State. I hear you, KT. I know you like him better, but I don't know. I think Espinoza is better than Gross Matos. I watched him play, and I do like him, the guy out of Penn State. But for some other reason, I like how Espinoza kind of jump off the tape at me. But we'll see, because those guys, Amados might be there when the Saints pick too. He's another guy on the board, but do the Saints take that guy? I mean, it just be interesting to see how it goes, man. A lot of ways they can go. Depends on what the board look like, and who's there. P. Felton Saint says Hurts 3rd round if he's there. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. If Jalen Hurts is there in the later portions of the 3rd round, which odds are he's probably going to be gone a little earlier than that, then I will go with him. No doubt about it. Even if the Saints had to use a future pick from next year, a lower pick to move up to grab Hurts, like the Saints moved up to get a guy like McCoy last year, would be a fantastic move to do. I mean, that to me would be a special move, but Hurts, no doubt about it, in the 3rd round. I absolutely agree upon that right there. P. Felton, thank you, fam. Gerard says Steve Montez, another QB that'll be available in the later rounds. Montez, I heard of him. I don't know how good he is. I need to get some tape on him. Sub-Zero says Friday with nothing to do. Plenty to do. Let's talk some football, fam. DLP said Golden Gandy is a beast. Kelvin Griffin, who that T, says Van Jefferson from Florida will be a nice deal. I thought, yeah, Van Jefferson's good. Very deep wide receiver class, like GM Kev saying. Gerard says Gandy would be a good fit, but he'll be drafted in the 3rd or 4th round. We need more picks, man. So much talent. You do not realize that we had 3 more picks in this draft, the Saints could really set this team on a right course for the next 2 years, and we can absorb the pain of what's coming next year, depending on how they handle it. So, the pain of what happened with Marshawn Lattimore, Ryan Ramczyk, Demario Davis, and the likes. So, I've compared these 2 seasons, off seasons for the Saints, of Scary Movie 1 and Scary Movie 2. We've basically got through Scary Movie 1. Next year is Scary Movie 2 for the Saints, and retaining some of their key talent. Having a solid draft this year kind of absorbs some of the pain that you get, but you can get more athletic and faster in this draft if done correctly. And I've said we need more picks. This is the draft to get them. Gerard says if the Saints draft Tyler Johnson, that's his name, the Minnesota wide receiver Tyler Johnson, really good player right there. Who that to you, DJ? Good to see you in the live stream as well. Kelvin says, who that to you? Kelvin Washington says, so you think we should go after Griffin or Clay Matthews so we get pressure on the quarterback? I like Everson Griffin. I'm just going to keep it real with you. I like Everson Griffin. Clay Matthews, they're going to play him at defensive end? Nah, I like Clay. I just like Everson Griffin because of his resume and the fact that to go and really stick it to the Vikings is to go out and get Griffin, who then comes for the Saints and plays, starts, you put Davenport on the bench, and then boom, let Cam and Everson go after the quarterback, especially when you meet the Vikings again. That to me would really set this free agency period completely off, because a lot of the analysts out there are giving the Saints high marks because of how they've handled free agency this year. And a lot of people, I thought it would have been different, would have given the marks to Tampa Bay of how they went out and got Tom Brady and all this kind of stuff, and the Panthers as well. But the high marks are going to the Saints. Even Max Kellerman from First Take is picking the Saints to say they're the best team in the NFC. Of course, a Booger McFarlane believes that as well. And Stephen A was saying, no, the 49ers are. And it's just amazing. But nonetheless, we have had more people understanding that the Saints are really doing a good job in free agency, even when some thought the money wouldn't be there for them to make any moves. The money, I keep telling you, be mindful of that. Okay, Lance Kelly says, Kevin, Eric McCoy filled the hole up. Gerard says, if the Saints, okay, I read that. Revolt says, Dobbins reminds me of the guy in Frisco, number 22. He does. Dobbins is awesome, bro. He's awesome. Don't get me wrong. Donovan Graceman, who that to you, Donovan? He said, if he's there in the second round, I'll move up for Hurts. I love it. Because the Saints know that Hurts, if you want somebody as a backup quarterback, why not one with the resume of a Jalen Hurts? The guy was like 40 and 6 or 8 in his college career, won 2 national championships, and the one that he was benched on, which Tua took over. Tua was falling through the flow, and Jalen Hurts came in and won that championship game for him. Then left after winning the championship, went to Oklahoma, and took them to the college playoffs, and they just got annihilated. Everybody got annihilated by LSU. But he brought them to that stage. When people said he wasn't a quarterback, he can't throw the ball. I mean, people need to take it and stuff it where the sun don't shine. You can't tell me Jalen Hurts can't play, that he can't play football, that he's just a running quarterback. People who saying that don't know nothing about football. They haven't watched enough about Jalen Hurts. I've been watching that dude since he's been at Alabama because he's been playing against LSU. And the guy is terrific. He's beaten some of LSU's most stiffest defenses. I mean, he outrunning them, I mean, it was absolutely fantastic, the type of stuff I seen the kid do against LSU, who was put some hellified defenses together going at Alabama before Joey B got his mind together. Awesome. Okay, let's keep it going. Sean says, Q, should we trade back in the draft to acquire more picks? Miami has a lot of picks, and we have a relationship with them. Trading back wouldn't be bad, depending on who is trading ahead of you and how far you're going back. If there's a player there that you like, you want to take them or what have you. Or another possibility is maybe using some of the draftable assets you have from next year to trade. And then, of course, the player angle. If Kamara if he holds out, are you going to pay him the $10 million or whatever it is that he wants to remain here? That's other stuff that needs to be thought about as well. Sidney Cox, who that to you? Good to see your family. Kevin says, you see who's really a football. What good running at 4.2 and 40 when a dude pop you in the mouth and you're injured for 6 weeks. Donovan said, I really like Brandon Ayuk's skill sets. Ayuk is awesome. No doubt about it. He says, Chenault is a first round pick. He's talking to somebody in chat. Michael Sachs says, Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin. There you go. Taylor is really special. Another good running back as well. Kind of smallish, impactful backs. These guys are plenty. Lance says we need to draft a defense in the early rounds. KT says, trust me, you don't want Stephen A picking your team to win anything. Stephen A sucks, man. No doubt about it. The more he gets wrong, the more hair falls out. Let's see. Gerard says linebackers, and he got all big letters. He says linebackers to do your homework. Draft scouting on includes Oregon's Troy Dye, Wyoming's Logan Wilson, who's very productive. LSU Jacob Phillips, who's going to be a sleeper. Akeem Davis Gaither from Mississippi State, very athletic, very productive. And then, of course, Willie Gay. He ran a 4.4 at the combine. And then you got Davion Taylor up there. Those are some pretty good names up there. Thank you, Gerard. Derek says, down there, most of the draft had us picking until we signed Sanders. Revolt says, I would love to get Hurts. I think someone will take him in a second, maybe first. Kevin says, Jacob Phillips is under the radar. He may be a good late round pickup. KT says, Q, don't put stock into what the analysts say. Remember that Mahomes, Watson, Russell Wilson, and Lamar Jackson were not top QB prospects in their draft class rooting for Jalen Hurts. Thank you. Good insight there, KT. Absolutely right. I knew who Lamar Jackson was 2 years before he was drafted by the NFL. And I heard these idiots come out saying, oh, he's not a first round quarterback. And I'm saying to myself, what agenda do these? Because the thing is, it don't make any sense. The man had the stats. He had the intelligence. He was almost all the time on the highlight reels. He was very productive in Louisville. But all I seen was the people talking about, oh, he's not this and he's not that. I said, well, I'll tell you what, he probably didn't sign with one of those people that paid none of these people all so they could talk big about him. Because very few of these people talk big about you unless you pay them to. You think you're going to have somebody that's sitting up on a platform as large as some of these other platforms, the CBSs and all them, and just going to talk about your ass for free? Most of them are getting money to do it. And like I told you, it was a scandal involved with Mel Kiper when he was caught taking money to boost up people on his boards. They all do it. The majority of them do it. People don't know how the game. It's always been circulated around that. You want me to talk about you and beef your step up? Gotta pay me. Which is a shame, but it is what it is. It's like when I talk about boxing. If anybody, a boxing fan, watched the Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder fight and seen that Tyson Fury's glove, he didn't even have his hand fully in his glove. It's a movement. He did this before, where his hand is, the glove area, the padded part is here, and his glove and his actual fist is this much in the glove. Why is that done? So that when he hits, you can feel him punching. And notice how he messed over Deontay Wilder, and he was hitting him with that portion of the glove where that padding was off. So he was punching through the, and then you can look at the film, see that the bastard doing it, and he's throwing a backhand. You can't do that in boxing. You can't slap somebody with the back of your hand in boxing. That's not allowed. But he was doing it. The tape caught him, and then you have guys on ESPN that's totally not. They don't want to talk about it because he's an ESPN fighter. He has a deal with what was it? Bob Arum, I think it is, has a deal with Top Rank, who has a contract with ESPN. They're not allowed to talk about it. That's why I said, what are you selling yourself to? You can't even talk about the truth. How do you look yourself in the goddamn mirror on it? But that's how the world is in terms of professional sports. It's not just the athletes getting money or the agents or the teams. All them some guns in there getting top money or got their hands in there trying to get something out the cookie jar. Bottom line, it's how it is. If you want me to talk about you, you got to pay me. That's how they operate. Anyway, let's keep it going. Kevin says, here's what the Saints have hopefully learned. If a player has a history of injuries, don't draft from. Read your scouting reports. Thank you. GM Kev, spoken like a real GM. Donovan says, Derek, I would prefer a linebacker on 24th. Murray or Queen would make me happy. Sydney said, I wish we can get Henry Ruggs. Henry would be awesome. I think he'll be long gone. Lance says, Donovan, I agree. We need defense. If we had a stud with DD, wow. That's what we said. Kevin said they need to bring the boxes to the ring and tape them up in front of everybody. I agree with you. And that's something that Fury got away with it. They have not stripped him of his belts. They should have. But he's now under another scandal in which it is he had failed a test and he blamed it on bad beef, similar to what Canelo Alvarez did. So they had a farmer to come forward and say that he was the one that gave him the tainted beef. Only problem with those corrupt bastards didn't pay the man the sum that they were supposed to pay him. So in the end, what occurred was he is now being under investigation by the boxer. One way or the other, we're going to get your belt. See, that's karma. That's karma and dharma. It's two of them. That's what happened. And you talk a lot of shit, Tyson Fury, and I've been calling out Tyson Fury because he's a likable guy, but he's full of shit. You know, and I'm a boxing dude, and I've been watching. I'm saying, man, look at this nonsense, because you've been getting away with a lot of stuff. And of course, you don't hear none of the fighters talk about it. You know, if he cheated me, I'd be talking, man, look at this son gun punch a tree. I mean, come on, man. But you know how much of it is actually the sport, or it's everybody getting a little something out of it, you know, to keep quiet. It's a shame, man. It's a shame how that is. Sean says the reason they talk down about the QBs like Jackson is they want their prototypical QB they're slowly seeing in the passing area that an athletic QB is the future. It definitely is. A lot of people is trying to be traditionalists and hold to that statuesque quarterback in the pocket. That's not working anymore. You need an athletic quarterback who can move around and then provide another measure where he can run as well as throw the ball, so that it sucks a defender away from everybody else and sticks them to the quarterback. Where you have to spy that quarterback, that creates a whole nother system of problems for a defensive coordinator when the quarterback has the ability to suck one defender away from everybody else and make them stick to him. That is a whole nother issue altogether. So I agree, having that athletic quarterback is something that we need to consider getting. And like I said, if Jalen Hurts is there, by goodness, get him. Kev says Tyson Fury is the right era of boxing. If he was the golden boxing era, he would get spanked real quick. He talk a lot of mess, and he's talented. He's a big boy. He a big guy that could fight. But listen, no doubt about it, that wasn't the way. He didn't win that fight doing that. He was it was a fight where he was punching through the glove. And some people out there saying don't make a difference. Let somebody put a glove on halfway and punch through the non-padded portion of it. It's like hitting you with bare knuckles. And you see how messed up that man was. When you see all the back of it, he punched him in his ear with that fist through the non-padded portion of his glove, and you can see blood coming down his ear. He was discombobulated. And I think he bust his, if I'm not mistaken, he had blood. He was spitting out blood. Deontay Wilder was. I think he might have bust his jaw too. Because the way his jaw was swollen, he was spitting blood. He was spitting blood from his mouth. His ears was blood. His equilibrium was off. Man, let me tell you something, man. Let somebody hit you upside your goddamn head like that and see how you feel about it with the non-padding portion of it. I'm telling you, it's a dirty game, man. He said the Ravens built their defense around Jackson's strengths in spite of, and look where they're at. That dude's ultimately going to take that team to a Super Bowl, no doubt about it. It's coming real soon. A little bit more experience. Lance says, I agree, Tyson Fury is vastly overrated. Kevin says, it's putting it lightly. KT says, I think Payton would try up for love based off Mahomes' comparison. Q. Well, listen, he did say he would draft Mahomes that year. You really see Sean Payton trading up in the draft to get Jordan Love, you know, I don't know. It'll be a real gutsy move because the Saints are not done in free agency. Tomorrow or later on next week, they can sign Griffin. They can add another linebacker that can address some of these needs so they can feel free to do that maneuver. So I'm not poo-pooing your deal there, KT. You most certainly, it could happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it couldn't. Most certainly could. But at this stage of it, is you in New Orleans, you got to be looking at saying, man, we addressed a lot of needs of the defense. A pass rusher is definitely one. We could use some help with the linebackers, you know, but I would rather you get the pass rusher in free agency, a veteran, because you got enough potential guys. So we don't have to worry about rookies getting it right, because we got enough young players on the team who haven't gotten it right or figured it out or haven't been healthy. Griffin gives you a guy that's there. All right, I'm going to finish up these comments, fam, and then I'm going to bounce it to the mock draft because that's what this is supposed to be about. It's pretty much the mock draft. Let's see. Kevin said, no way Tyson Fury could beat Lennox Lewis or Razor Ruddock. No, Fury couldn't do nothing with Lennox Lewis. Fury's 6'9", he almost 7 feet tall. Lennox Lewis was 6'4", 6'5". So he would have the advantage on him, and he would make it awkward, no doubt about it. But Lennox Lewis is smart enough to know how to deal with a fighter because he could box. Deontay Wilder is a puncher. He's not a boxer. His game has been severely limited because my opinion of Deontay Wilder is I think Deontay Wilder is a good dude. I really like him. You know, out of all of the champions, the heavyweight champions that were carrying the belts, I like Deontay Wilder. And I like Anthony Joshua too. But I like Deontay Wilder because I think he has the true heart of a champion. I think Tyson Fury talked too much. Anthony Joshua is a good fighter, but he's not a really, and he can box if he wants to. I just think there's something missing there. You know, that ferocity, that animal, that killer instinct is what's missing there with a guy like Anthony Joshua. He's a nice dude. So, pardon me for that. But like I said, if you're dealing with the fighters and you're looking at all three of them, I think Deontay Wilder was the best of them to hold all the belts despite the politics and everything that was going wrong. So at the end of the day, all I can say is, man, Lennox would have definitely beat Tyson Fury. I mean, no doubt about it to me. I just think he would. And now Razor Ruddock, I think he would have had a harder time with him because Tyson can box. I mean, he ain't no bum now. I ain't saying the man a bum, but it take a certain type of fighter that could beat a guy like that. And we talking boxing here now. Lance says, I agree, Big Q. Get your pass rushers in Frazier. Michael Sachs Jr. says, what about Clay Matthews on a 1-year deal, 8 sacks last year? What would you play him at? I mean, where would you play a guy like this dude at? You know, what would you play him at? Would you play him at defensive end? Would you play him at linebacker? Don't you already have a Clay Matthews type in Alex Anzalone? It depends, Michael. Where would you answer that question? Where would you play Clay Matthews at? You know, and for him to get that many sacks and he's getting older, where did he play last year with the Rams to get 8 sacks? Did he play exclusively linebacker? I mean, you know, where would you put a Clay Matthews at? He's a Sean Payton type of player, no doubt about it. But it's interesting. Riddick Bowe. Yeah, Riddick Bowe would have beat the hell out of Tyson Fury because Riddick Bowe's a body puncher, and that's something Tyson Fury couldn't take. He couldn't take Riddick Bowe punishing his body and breaking him down. So, no, I agree with you. Riddick Bowe would have definitely beat Tyson Fury, ain't no doubt about it. I think you're thinking about Donovan Razor Ruddock. Razor Ruddock, that's a different thing. Ruddock was a fighter, but I think Tyson would have beat him. But Riddick Bowe, oh, no. No, he would have destroyed his body and broke Tyson Fury down. So no, that would buy. Lance, I agree with you, Big Q. Let the pass rush free agency. Revolt says, I'm a Wilder fan also. Thank you, Revolt. KT said, I think that Willie Gay Jr. is going to be a dog. Would love to have him as insurance policy when Anzalone and Kiko stay injured. Yeah, I seen Willie Gay play. Willie is something else. And plus, we strike well on him. Remember the last person we had Randall Gay here who worked well in the slot for us. And that Willie Gay dude could play. It would be interesting. Jay says Mike Tyson would make Tyson Fury his side piece even today. Yeah, Mike Tyson in his prime would have definitely demolished Fury because he would have got up under Fury. And that was his thing as a smaller fighter. That's what the bobbing and weaving was for. And he was a serious body puncher. Tyson, they believe, can impale some of them fighters. But that was some of the thing that was going on with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is a guy, he's 6'9", and Mike Tyson's 5'11". So he's trying to punch down to keep Tyson out of, no. Mike would have got up under him and got him with them he would have broke him up. Let's see, let's keep it going. Michael Sexton, outside linebacker, has a pass rusher like Von Bell. I mean, it's possible, bro, because I guess you can employ him at the linebacker position. He's not fast enough like he used to cover them tight ends. I think that's one of the reasons like Green Bay got rid of him. They tried him at inside, then outside, and then he was injured. Then he kind of back. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Everson Griffin is there or Marcus Golden. Those guys provide a little bit upside. But Clay Matthews is interesting. That's interesting because he is productive. But we don't need another guy come here that's going to be injured. That's not going to help. Big ups to the family member as well. Okay. Yeah, I feel you in the building, family. Good to see you as well. So big ups to the family members in the building. Who that to you, Adrian? Okay, I got you, Adrian. Let's see. Kevin says Ali would have just let Fury throw punches and wear himself out. About the 6th round, Ali would unleashed a fury of combinations. All right, I like the wordplay on that. Thank you there, Kevin. Big ups to GM Kevin with that one. I appreciate all the family members with these boxing questions. I realized we had so many people who enjoyed the wonderful sport, or what they call it, the sweet science of boxing. You know, I didn't realize we had that many people. But that's where we got the knockout platform that we have as well. The Ring Kings Boxing World platform as well. Big ups to the family members. We also have that as well. Please hit the like button, family, upon entry into the live stream. We answer some questions there. And now in this portion of the show that I'm going to end the live stream, family. Listen, I'm going to answer a few more questions. I'm going to end the live stream. And then once I end the live stream, I'm going to come back with the draft version of the live stream where I will do the live draft of the 3.0 draft. Kevin said, I'm a boxing fan, bro. I got you, family. I got you. I appreciate you. So this is the portion of the show, fam. Please hit the like button. But like I say, Michael Sass says Crawford is my favorite boxer. Crawford's awesome. He can't find nobody to fight him, though. You know, and that was before all of this stuff set on. Hopefully Pacquiao will give him an opportunity. But, you know, we'll have to see. Steve Winston says no corona school. All the family members in the judge. So listen, family, I'm going to end this live stream right now. In about 10-15 minutes, I'm going to return with the draft, the live draft, the mock draft 3.0 live. We're going to do it and then come back and just drop it like that. KT said Floyd versus Roy in their primes. Who you picking? Now you talking about Pretty Boy Floyd or Money Mayweather versus Roy? What Roy is that? Not Roy Jones Jr., huh? Roy who? Who you saying, KT? Kelvin says Leon Spinks would have gave him a nice smile. Roy who? Is that Roy Jones or... I know you talk about Floyd Mayweather, but Roy Jones Jr.? Is that who you're talking about versus Money Mayweather? Kelvin says Kevin says a 40-year-old farmer could beat Fury. Kelvin says Roy hands down. Foreman would have destroyed Tyson Fury. Roy Jones says Kelvin. Okay. Roy Jones versus Floyd Mayweather. That's Roy Jones. Well, that's two different classes altogether. If you asking me between Floyd Mayweather and Roy Jones Jr., man, that's like, I can't even call that one, bro. Because Mayweather was damn near unhittable, and so was Roy Jones. And Roy was he was a heavier fighter than Money Mayweather. So, oh man, I don't know. KT, you got me on now. I can't call that one, KT. I can't call that one, KT. Y'all must have forgot. I remember that terrible song. But yeah, I can't call that one, KT. I'm gonna have to leave that one there, brother. That's so hard right there to call Roy Jones Jr. versus Pretty Boy Floyd. Oh man, no. That'd be like two suckers in there. You won't even won't see that one because nobody would be hitting nobody. They'd be just tired at the end of the fight. Nobody hitting nobody. But anyway, family, I'm gonna end the show on that, and we're gonna fire up the live stream. So I want y'all to come on back and catch the live mock that I'll do in about 15 minutes. So I thank all the beautiful family members for chiming us in this live stream. Please hit the like button and know that I'll be returning in about 15 minutes with the mock draft. So thank you guys for tuning in the Q&A section of this one. We're going to bounce back and come back with the live the 7-round mock of the Saints in about 20 minutes. So thank you guys for joining us, and we'll be back in a few with the draft. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome. Number one sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons. We won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that? Who got cut and who back? Rookies and the vets. Players you should look at. It's the sports coma. You don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Payton, New Orleans, who that nation? Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.